Chair recognizes the chairman of the Education Committee, Chairman Coleman, for the final 20 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I can assure you I will not take the final 20 minutes, and I would like to yield a little of my time to the author of the bill. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something. This, as the author stated earlier, this is one bill that has been discussed, it's been debated, it's been revised, and it has really been dealt with a lot of times. And I feel like we have developed what I consider a very, very important piece of legislation. It's going to be another tool in the toolbox for our school systems and what we're trying to do. And I want to say just first of all, why is this bill important to education and how will it help our schools? And I appreciate the minority report, what Representative Thomas said. He's right. All of these things we try to do, not one little thing's going to make a difference, but all these things in combination will make a difference. And we are going to find a way, and we are going to be able to do it. But how is this bill, House Bill 123, going to help our schools? First of all, one of the things I think it's going to do that's very important, it's going to empower parents. It's empowering teachers by allowing them to get involved in the operations of their school. We can say what we want to, but they're not. Teachers are afraid. They're not empowered today. The second thing it's going to do, and I think this is critical, ladies and gentlemen, local boards are still in control. And I appreciate the author of the bill, when he met with me, what he did, we ensured that local boards are still in control. But the beauty is the local boards have to listen to the teachers, have to listen to the parents, and they have to get involved. The third thing, House Bill 123, allows local involvement at the local schools. And everything we've talked about, schools are more important and more successful when you have the local control. And the fourth thing, can you imagine, that I think that's so important, the local control, can you imagine when 50% or 60% of any group gets involved with the local board or with you as a representative running for office? 50% of somebody or 60% of a group, that's a powerful group and sends a powerful message to you. That's what it's going to do. And I think this is the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, with the direction we're taking now. And you just passed 4 pieces of legislation last week, education, critical legislation, pieces of it. With the direction we're taking, with the report card that we're developing, our schools by 2015 are going to be graded. They're going to have a grade. We'll know where they stand. Those that are doing A's, those doing B's, those making 100, 90, 50, and they will. This is giving us a way to look at these schools and giving us another tool in the toolbox to get involved. And I think that's the key, ladies and gentlemen. House Bill 123 provides another tool in the toolbox for parents and teachers to use in the management and operations of their schools. I want to appreciate everything. I appreciate everything everybody said, but I think people this remember: parent involvement, local control, flexibility. We've got to have that with local control. That's what it's all about, and another tool in the toolbox. I want to ask the author of the bill now if he'll come forward, and he will answer any question he'd like to and sum up what was said about this bill. But I encourage you, vote for this bill. It was vetted, it was discussed, and it's an important piece of legislation for our schools.
14 minutes remaining.
Well, I won't take
Chair recognizes the Majority Caucus whip to take the balance of the chairman's time. Representative Lindsey.
My apologies, Mr. Speaker. I just know folks are ready to vote. So just very quickly, let's just go through these. And I'm not going to take any questions because I think we've already vetted this well enough. But let me sort of point out some key points. Someone said this is not a silver bullet. You're absolutely right. There is no such thing as a silver bullet when it comes to education reform. This is, however, an important tool in the toolbox of education reform. We need this bill just as much as we need all the other bills that Chairman Brooks Coleman is bringing forth. Number 2, whether or not charter schools are actually better for students. The fact of the matter is, particularly for those students that most need public education, kids who come from low-income households, the absolute gold standard when it comes to studies is the Stanford report that was issued a few years ago. According to the Stanford study, low-income students perform better in charter schools than they do in traditional schools. Number 3, question was, well, somebody said, well, this has nothing to do with improving parental involvement. Folks, this has everything to do with parental involvement. That's what this bill is all about, is making sure that there's greater parental involvement in the local schools and making sure that parents' voices are heard by the local school board. Next number. I found this rather amusing. Somebody said, well, it doesn't require over 50% plus one, it just requires 50%. Folks, throughout the bill, more than 50%, more than 50%, more than 50%, more than 50%. What that statement tells me is that folks are up here arguing against this bill that have not read it, plain and simple. Next question was, well, what about local concerns? If, you know, when it comes to a county with only one school, or there's a particular concern about a natural disaster in that area, and then maybe this bill won't apply. Well, folks, that's why we've kept it local. That's why the local board will have the ultimate decision as to whether or not this is the step to take or not. That's why we have done it the way we have done it, rather than allow somebody not in that local community to make the decision, but to make the folks in that local community to make the decision. The bottom line, folks, is that if you are going to stand with your parents and stand with your teachers and give them a voice before their local school board, and allow their petition not only to be presented, but to be heard and acted on by their local board. If you believe in the First Amendment to the Constitution, if you believe in the state Constitution regarding the right of petition, I ask for you to vote for this bill. The time is late. I know we're ready to vote and to move on to other matters. Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 123 will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 123. The ayes are 97, the nays are 74. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed